Okay, good morning, everyone. So we will start again our final project presentation for day two. Okay, I think we can start earlier because Jeffen already here. Wait. Okay, good morning, Jeffen. Morning, Jeffen.
Morning, sir.
Okay, I think I don't want to waste our time, yeah. So I think we can start earlier. Is that all right for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's good. Can you turn on your camera because we will
Oh,
stream
okay.
to YouTube. So I think it will be good for you to show your face.
Yeah,
All right. So I assume you already know all the rule and what being scored for our final project. Yeah, based on
yeah.
our presentation session yesterday. So I think if you already know everything, we can just start with your presentation. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so if you're ready, you can start to share your screen and then you can continue with the presentation.
All right.
Okay, good luck.
Okay. So my application is driver lock recorder. So this application will record all the activities of drivers, and then we can turn it into uh, readable data and driver salary at the end. Maybe I will show
Okay,
the demo for it, right?
yep, that will be great.
So the first thing we should do is to add variable. Variable in here means that the price that we can give to the driver, like the base wage, and then I use like some kind of strict modifier here. So maybe if in a day, if the driver make like 3 trip, it will maybe like get uh one times the base wage. When it get like 4 to 5 trip in a day, it will get like twice the base wage. Yeah, something like that. And there is also individual price for each different route and vehicle.
Okay,
So
can
in
can you
here,
can you explain with scenarios, example scenario?
oh yeah. So maybe here we make a new variable, right? So
Yep.
maybe let's so maybe we want the base wage to be like 10,000 rupiah, and then we put the strict modifier like one here, and then two, and then three. So in here, uh if the driver make 3 trip in a day,
Mm-hmm.
then he will get 30,000.
Sorry, I don't
Okay?
get it. I don't get it. Why got the 30,000? Because it's multiplied by three.
No, it because he made 3 trip, and then it is in the first category.
Okay.
And
So
if he yeah
yeah. So so the base wage is like 10,000, right?
yeah
And you split the category into three, which is
yeah
1 to 3, 4 to 5, and 6 up to more than 6, right?
yeah
And then you give the value is 1 to 3. So I don't understand. I don't get it. What is this value used for? The one
uh,
that you enter for each category.
yeah. So it will multiply the base wage.
Okay, so it means if like three trips, so it
3 trip.
it will goes into category 1 to 3, and
Yeah
the factor that multiply the base wage is only one. So why
yeah
it the driver get 30,000?
because he made 3 trip, and also he also make it into the category one.
Oh, okay. So it means because three trip, so it means uh,
Yeah, each
it,
individual trip.
okay. So the price or the base wage will be given for each trip, yeah.
Yeah, but each trip have different categories, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5, and 6 up.
So it means if the driver do like 4 trips, what happened?
He will get the first category will be 3 trip, that is 30,000, and then the fourth trip will be 20,000. So it will be 50,000 in total.
Oh, okay. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So there is route, also route. This is like maybe if you want the driver to have specific price in different route, like maybe if it's north, it is one, but if it's south, this two. So then like the category, it will multiply the base wage with two.
Okay.
Okay. The same with vehicle, like maybe uh satu and then PMV two. Okay, then we're gonna save the variable. This will later determine how much the driver will get.
Okay.
So then we will return and go to the add data. So this is the probably the most used page. This is where we like put the data of the driver's activity.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we put Josh here. So if Josh made like route, so if Josh took north route and then have uh Telsa car, then we can add it. Like maybe if he made like four trip, we're gonna add four here, and then maybe then after that he turns south, and maybe he did it twice, maybe, and then we can just post it, and then we get the data right, and we can save it into Excel form,
Okay.
Excel file. Okay. I'm gonna save it into presentation Excel file.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then we get the data right. Now we can count the salary and also read like the statistic of the drivers and overall
Mm-hmm.
productivity of all drivers.
Mm-hmm.
But we only have one, so I'm gonna use another file for this. Maybe well, maybe this one. Okay. So this is the read page. This is where we read the overall data of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in this place we got ND, Western, and the route is south and north, and there is BM20 and BM2330, and there's different dates here. And if we go to the driver's productivity, we will know each date, the total activity that is made in each day for each person. So Andy here in 30, 30 31 December made 6 trip, and we can see it again in the driver log. Andy made like in the 31st,
Okay.
he made like hey 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 trip, right?
Yep.
So that is the driver productivity, and then there is production graph. This is the overall activity, the total activity that all drivers did in each day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a simple graph with
Okay. That's good.
and pandas and matplotlib. And then the last thing is the driver salary. The driver salary, if we use, okay, hold on.
Can we try from the yeah the yeah okay the presentation part?
So the name is just right.
Mhm.
What what happened?
What happened?
Maybe I just gonna pull the one that's working in the to GitHub. Uh, okay, let me try it again.
Yep.
Play. Uh, won't work. Okay, uh, I'm gonna use the other version. Maybe it will work. Uh,
Still there's no total for the wage.
yeah. Page.
How about the other files? Let's try the other files.
Maybe
No attribute of money. Oh, I think there's like the code is not working. Yeah.
yeah. I think some code just went missing.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. So it means you still have chance to look at it later and then fix it. Yeah. Is there any other functionality that you want to show?
Yeah, I think that's it. And maybe I'm gonna show some code. So there are three main things that is commonly used in this program. First is loading data into a tree view ekinter.
Mm-hmm.
So it is usually used this kind of snippets. So it is self-explanatory. The heading will be the headers, and
Mm-hmm.
we also need to define the column.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is for loop for maybe if there is multiple data, we need to insert each data.
Okay.
So in here we display this is display post insert,
Mm-hmm.
and there is getting the data to from the tree view.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing is my this is the calculation. So but you cannot see it because the total man is missing here.
Okay.
So in here we got data store in dictionary, data store in list, and data store tree in dictionary. So
Why have a different data type like using dictionary and list? Why not all using dictionary?
yeah, it's a roundabout way, but yeah, it is. Uh, maybe it's because I want to change the data into such form that it can be easily processed. But it, yeah. So in here, the first thing I need to do is to make a space character infiable name impos. Oh no, this is the first feature. So I want to make so every each time the date or the vehicle or the route change, the
Mm-hmm.
streak modifier will then be resetted. So I need to know if it's changing or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need to make a combination of each possible route, vehicle, name, and date. So in here, I'm making the the variable name, and then each name will have it each variable will count count the number of occurrence in each variable name, the combination name. And then after we got the variable the combination variable occurrence count, and then we put it into the split splitting the data. Oh, this is to make it to look good in the display. Hold on. So this one thing looks like this root comma vehicles because the previous one we combine it into this kind of variable out mini and the boom car. So it's like root vehicle name and date.
Wait, before you continue, I don't really get it. The calculation process that you implement in your application. So
Yeah,
after you have like a category of the trip, you also have like the route modifier and also
yeah,
the vehicle modifier. Yeah. So it means for
yeah,
each of the variables, they have like a different value, right? So how you will calculate the I mean like how you decide the because that will be related with the wage or the salary of the driver, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So can you explain how you calculate the wage? I mean, like, uh,
So
yeah, from the trip and then based on the route modifier and then based on the cars. What happen if they have like different combination between them? And then
it is,
is it like for example because it is possible to change for example the car in one day or the same day because in reality that will be difficult, right?
yeah.
So is there
So
any?
there's supposed to be like calculation around here, but I think that went missing. So I'm gonna check the previous GitHub.
No, just based on the code that you explained, can you show me
Yeah,
the how you process the wage?
yeah, the
Because
code
the
went
program is not going to
missing
record the wage.
somehow. Yeah,
Hello? I think the connection is not really good, yeah.
yeah. So yep. Okay. Uh, so I don't know. Maybe the code is missing, but probably mathematic behind the wage is the the base wage times the root the root modifier times the number of root taken and then times the
Vehicle.
vehicle modifier and the times the root type.
Okay. What happen if we don't have the root modifier and the
That's
vehicle
how it
modifier?
works.
So is
It will throw an error.
okay. So there is no possibilities for driver not register.
But actually,
Hello?
no, we need to define the name of the car and the value of it.
Yeah, because
Sir,
well, I don't know. Yeah,
hello.
in my imagination, I mean, like this kind of scenario is can be applied for like, for example, like the online transportation, like for example, like Grab or Gojek, right? And then in real situation, sometimes I can see,
Yeah,
like for example, for Gojek, the motorcycle is broken, and then they just change the motorcycle with the other that they have, for example, and the registration process it will take like a bit time, right? So that's why they just using it without confirm to the system. So how your application will
yeah.
handle that? Is that is there any scenario for
Uh,
the example of that?
so this application is mainly for like maybe like for example maybe like mining industry. Like for mining industry, it's of course we have like registered vehicle, right? Like
Oh,
we
okay, all right.
so it's not like for the normal drivers. It's like for heavy vehicle drivers, something like
Oh,
that.
okay, okay. So the scenario is for like company driver.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, okay,
for like heavy machinery.
okay. Do you want to continue to explain, or can we move to like the Q&A session?
Yeah, maybe we can move to the Q&A session.
Okay, I just want to make sure because you already showed the matplotlib to create the graph.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, I like it. But can you create the graph for each driver? I mean, like the summary of the driver, for example, for 1 month or for 1 week, for example. So
Uh,
it can be seen the summary for the driver of each driver, and then also maybe if I'm the owner of the company, I want to see uh, the average of all driver, for example. Can you do you have that kind of functionality in your graphic function?
no, I only make it so that it's gonna show the total activity per day.
Okay. So I think the overall for me the idea of your application is really good. Yeah, it's really interesting and very very informative. But the way you show the result, yeah, on the table, it will hard for people to use it. I mean, like normally we use this application. I mean, like the owner of company normally use the data to get or to take the decision maker, right, for decision maker, and normally people need to have like a summary of the data before they decide some decision. So I think it is will be great if your application can help that kind of process as well. So it means instead of only telling the graph of the daily, yeah, I think you
Yeah.
can also create the summary graph that can show the average of the driver wage, for example, and then or the average or the summary of each driver for per week or per month, right? So I
Yeah.
think that information more useful instead of only in the form of table or in the form of like a daily graph.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's only some feedbacks, yeah. Like I
Okay.
said, overall, I like the idea. I also already read some of the description in the report. I think the purpose of the application is very good. Yeah, it's genuine. So I like it. And the way you create the code, I'm sure you already done a lot of things. And I can see you already implement almost everything that we learned in our class. Yeah.
Mm.
But have you implement the class?
Oh yeah, the class is strictly for the
Oh,
page.
yeah, yeah, I can see that. Yep. Okay. All right. So you have like specific class. Maybe for each class you can also add some information what is the class about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only the functionality or the variable. That will be more informative when other people seeing your code. I think the rest is already okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So my feedback is first, please fix the broken code that happened today, yeah,
Yes.
for the wage. So you still have time until Monday. And the second one, if you want to try to add functionality to get like a summary for the output, like I told you before, that also will be great, yeah. I think it's not hard because you already have the data, right? You
Oh
just
yeah.
need to like query the data, right? Filtering the data, and then show the important data, like for example, summary for 1 week. So it means you need to filter the data for the specific date, and then create the summary for that, and then call the graph function. So I think it's not really hard to implement.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I think that's all. Do you have anything to say before I move to the next presenter?
I
By
think
the way,
not.
it's a good job, yeah, great job. So I like it. So
Okay. Thank you, sir.
yep. Okay, no more. I think thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
morning, and then I really appreciate. Uh, and you can leave. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you,
Jeffon.
sir.
Yep. Bye. Okay, next presenter will be wait. Next presenter is Divan. Divan Fauzan is here? No, yeah. Ariel here? No. Pam is here? No. Rafael. Okay, so we move to Rafael. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Rafael.
Hello.
You just wake up?
Yeah, I just did. Am I presenting currently or?
Yeah, because I think Divan is still not here, Ariel also not here, Pam is also not here. So that's why I told everyone to check the presentation, the current presentation, yeah, and then make sure they join early. We can back again to do them later, but if they're not showing up, they just skip it.
Hold on. Let me share.
Why you have like 2 accounts, yeah?
Oh, sorry. So the screen that's sharing my work right now is the one where I did everything in, and it doesn't have a camera. So I just wanted.
Okay. So this, I think the same case with Natal Jason.
Okay. So
But
I'll,
why I hear like echo on from your voice, yeah?
oh, whoops.
Okay, that's better now, I guess.
Sorry.
Okay, take your time. Don't worry. We start early anyway.
Can you hear the echo now, or?
No, that's fine now.
So, yeah, I'll start now. Good morning, sir. Today I'll be talking about my code, and I'll be explaining in more detail as to what each of the.
Can you start with the what your application about, and then maybe you can show the demo first before we move to the coding?
Okay. All right. So, the basic idea of what I decided to code was a simple guitar tuner that tunes a guitar to E standard, and I'll start the demo right now.
Okay.
So I have can you hear it?
Yep.
So if I run my code, it'll basically start producing the frequency of the guitar, and then I have a simple GUI here that I can press, and this will basically check if how low and how high the guitar is tuned at, to corresponding with each of the note. And I have the table here that also shows the fundamental frequency of each note that represents the guitar from E2 to E4. So if sorry.
Sound interesting.
So say for example, I'll start tuning to E4. See, in the terminal it says here it starts printing
high frequency.
Yeah, 224 hertz. And so if I tune up, this number starts to increase, right?
Yeah.
Because as the frequency gets higher, the pitch also gets higher. And so what this button does, these buttons here, it basically checks how high or how low the guitar is tuned, right? And I have a okay. Let me just finish the demo first. So right, shows this. I don't have it the moment. Currently, I don't have implemented is the program saying that is exactly tuned to the note, because my thought process was that it'd be really hard for the user to have an exact be at the exact frequency, right? And so I decided to leave it at where is it? Sorry, here. So it shows here like it just says if if the current frequency is higher or lower, and it just shows how much the user needs to tune left, but it doesn't show exactly like frequency is equal to the desired. Sorry, the guitar's pitch is equal to the desired frequency, because it'll be really hard for them to get an exact number for compared to the desired frequency, right? So it just shows if they're just how many hertz they are higher or lower, and
Okay.
yeah. So like for example, if the value is 2 hertz, it's pretty much tuned, right? Or like if it's 10 hertz or like higher, below or higher or below, it's kind of untuned, and they can kind of adjust based on how they perceive the sound, right? So if we go down, like here's the B note, produces a 240 hertz, right? And
Yep.
so I can like, yeah. So here it becomes tuned. I can check with.
So it means you don't have the range of each chord, yeah. For example, the C, D, E, so the range of the chord for each tune.
Oh no, I do have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the value is here, right?
Oh, okay.
And these are the values that it will check, which is the frequency of each the fundamental frequency of each string.
So have you tested by yourself, or you just get it from somewhere else? That I mean, like for that number of frequencies belong to a specific chord.
Oh, here, wait, hold on. Let me share my, because there I used this is this information is kind of like the hold on, I'll start sharing. Can you see this? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes.
basically, for each note, there is a frequency that is tied to that note, and specific pitches. So starting from 0 all the way up to C8, there's there's a frequency for each note. That
Okay. So
yeah,
you just get the reference from this number, yeah.
yeah, I got the reference from these numbers. Yep. Okay. So yeah, so basically that's what the basic idea of what my program does. And yeah, I would say I know it looks a bit awkward, right? Because I'm using both the terminal and a GUI, and I think it would have been much better if I kind of have all the information at one place. So it would be either the terminal or the GUI. But yeah, this is the best I could do to my ability for now, right? Yeah, I heard that we can kind of like improve it a bit, right? So I'll try to either choose to print all.
Don't worry about that, Ra. So I think you already done very good job. Yeah, I mean, like this is really genuine idea. I like it. I mean, like based on your idea, and then the way you put it into the code. So it's solving the problem. Even though I mean, I'm not even teach you how to get input from sound, right? So I think you already done very good job exploring the how to get the sound to the code. Yeah. I'm really impressed with your effort. Yeah, so it means I'm really happy for it. So of course that you saying before is true. I mean, like if you can create like some GUI or like visualization for your application, that much better. Yeah. Of course you can fight for the next 1 week to improve that. Yeah, but I think based on the current state, for me, your I don't know, maybe because your background is in music, right? I can see from your guitar in your wall, there's like a lot of guitar there. So I'm sure you really like music. So I think this kind of program is quite sophisticated. Yeah, I mean, like for me, the one that the user that can use this application, I assume they already know about the frequency of the its note, yeah. But for me, like when I imagine about a tuner, like a guitar tuner, for example, my focus is actually how to set each of my string to sound like the note, right? Like for example, C, E, D, for example, right? So in my mind, I think uh, you already get the frequency of the sound from the guitar. I think you can also add the information uh, like which note is this frequency, because you already have the note anyway, right?
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because for me this is like, okay, you saying that when when the user trying to tune the string, they need to see the frequency, this is higher or lower, right?
Right.
But for me as the beginner, I don't really know what the C sound like.
Right.
So I'm not even think what is the frequency of for the C, for example. Yeah, so I think the information, I mean, like if the target of this application is for the advanced one or the sophisticated one, I think that's already okay. But if you want uh, to implement this application for a wider user, yeah, it means like from the beginner to the advanced. I think the information like the simple information like uh, what is the note for this kind of frequency, that also important information that you can add.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I understand the.
Yeah. So it means the tuner, the purpose of tuner itself is actually get the sound of the each string is according to the real note, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if we only see the frequency, I'm not even know like the frequency of the C is like 100 something, for example, and and
Right.
you already know the C itself, they have like Z0, Z1, Z2 until C8, right? That the chart that you showed before. So I mean, like for me as the beginner, it's really hard for me to understand if I only see the hertz or the frequency.
Yeah. I yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think that is definitely something that I should have not overlooked. Right, I should have that implemented from the start. Uh, yeah, I can. I think that's yeah. I
Well,
think
all the basic features, all the basic functionality in your code, I think that's already exists already. It is only the matter of showing the information.
right, right.
Yeah. So like for example, why I said that you already get the sound from your instrument. You can show the frequency from the sound, and then the only things that you need is actually categorize the input of the frequency into the database the database of the nodes, right? Let's say for you already have the E2 frequency like 164. So it means if the number input from the sound is close to that sound to that frequency, you can categorize to that key to that note, something like that.
Ah,
And then you can say that, okay, this is close to the E2, but is lower. So the user can just tune it, like make the adding the frequency, right? Something like that.
yeah.
That's
I
the purpose of tuner, right?
yeah, right.
Is that the application that you want to achieve, or you just want to, because based on your uh, demo, you just said that the user can tuning the higher or lower the frequency, right? By looking at the frequency.
Um, yeah, that is definitely something that uh, I guess I considered in the early stages, right,
Mm-hmm.
of my um, of how I was gonna present all this data,
Mm-hmm.
but ultimately I didn't say I scrapped it, right, but like I wasn't. Yeah, I don't want to also blame it on time either, but I guess I was too inexperienced to kind of like, or like, too confident. No, not too confident with like, yeah, just the results of of like, yeah, you know, because I want to not, I don't want to keep, I want to say, I don't want to say I try to kept it safe either, but like, yeah, I wanted to show like during the product demo, like, yeah, right, the things that worked,
yeah,
and like the things that could, yeah, that's why
yeah. For that information, I mean, like, I have no complaint about it, because I think the things that you want to show based on the idea, and then everything that you already done into your code, I think is already delivered to me. And I'm sure, well, I have no complaint about it. But this, I'm talking about the product, right? I mean, like, in the end, you don't want to just having like the code, right, or the prototype. You want to have like application that can be used by the others, right? So it means other people, like the user, won't care about the coding at all. They only care about how it works in the end. So it means, as the computer science, and also you as the musician as well, you understand about the music. So you know what is the what they need as the musician, right? And then you can solve it by computer science things, like creating the tuner from the for the musician, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's my point actually. Well, for the sake of final exam, sorry, final project, I think that's already okay. I already told you before, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't want you just stop until this stage. There's like a lot of things that you can improve. Uh, and on I mean, like, in this perspective of computer science, you can improve your code, and then you can create a complete application that can be used by other people. That will be useful, right? Instead of only prototyping, something like that. That's it. I think. Is there any more demos that you want to show to me?
Should I'll go to explaining my code now.
Okay, sure. Yep.
All right. So here are the modules that I use, right? tkinter for the GUI just now.
Yeah, but there's GUI now.
PyAudio for the to receive the input from the microphone, right? NumPy is used for most, if not all, of the calculations that I did for this.
Yes.
OS is just to clear the terminal. Like you saw how when I click the button,
yep,
it kind of cleared out the terminal, right? It's here. It basically, it's just so that it doesn't get too convoluted, right? When the user is using it, so that they could kind of tell what they're looking at and what value they're looking at. That was just the purpose of this module. And then threading, which basically allows me to like run two codes simultaneously. And the reason why I had to use this was because when I first like created the tkinter GUI alongside with a PyAudio stream, the tkinter GUI would just crash and like it would not start, right? Because the reason why was because I had two while loops going on. Yeah, and a while loop, obviously, like you can't stop it, right, until the app stops. It kind of goes on forever, right? And yeah, basically, I had to find out a way to be able to start a buffer or start to be able to sample my input and also open the GUI, right? Because the GUI was this was to like check if the thing was tuned or not. So I found out that by using threading, that you could basically run two while loops simultaneously.
Yeah, that's the best solution, using the threading actually. Yeah.
And then going down here, I already mentioned this a bit before. So this just each of the frequencies for each note of each string. The frequency limit here, I'll show you what the purpose of this later on down here, down in the code. So the sample rate is basically the rate at which the input is able to sample the frequency. So higher the sample rate, obviously the higher the computing power needed, and also and more samples are being sampled, right, at each second. So that means the node will the data will basically get clearer and clearer. However, this is not too important because we don't really care too much. The program doesn't really care too much about trying to get the cleanest signal possible or whatnot. Right? It's trying to look at what frequency is being played, and and I'll show you. I'll get into more detail again once I go here, and then chunks here is basically the amount of frames in the buffer. A buffer is basically because an audio signal is continuous, right, or infinite. A buffer is needed to basically kind of just store that infinite data into a finite data, and so this number is there's no what's it called? What's that word? There's no like hertz or anything. It's just a number to showcase to kind of showcase the buffer. But the buffer here is in a array, right? A zero array, a one-dimensional zero array. So basically, with the data type of float 32, which is basically just float in the 32-bit, right? And there's no there's no unit. There's no unit, but it's just there for the later, so that when the audio stream receives the chunk and puts it into the buffer, it's just there to store the data to be used down here. And then samples per buffer is the size of the buffer. And that's it.
So it means, sorry, I interrupt your explanation. So it means the number like the 44100 and 21050, how you decide that number?
4410 44 kilohertz. It's the I just use the what's it called, the highest, not highest, it's the CD like the standard CD sample rate of a CD. So the CD, because the value doesn't matter too much, but like I didn't want it to have a low sampling frequency, right? Just in case that like it messes up during the when it analyzes the audio.
Okay.
But basically, this is just the kind of like the standard for CD sample rates, and this is also standard for this is sorry, this is standard for CD. This is just like this is just values that.
I mean, like why I asked that question, because first you said that the number is not matter so much, and then the explanation or the comment that you put there is actually not really describe what because when you check again in the project specification, there's like clearly note that there's no magic numbers, right?
Right.
So it means all the numbers that you state into a variable need to be explained. Like for example, the above one, the frequency, it's really clear where that number is coming from. That's the standardization already, right? That's why I want to check if the sample rate, the chunk, and sample buffer per buffer is also the standard. You're using the standardization, something like that. Yeah. So it means that need to be clear from the beginning.
So I should
just say just put like more information and then explain where that data coming from.
All right.
Where that number coming from, because previously you said, I assume before it's like the standardization of because I'm not really know about the music thing. So I assume there's like a standardization for that. But when you say that number is not really important, that's price the other question about it. So
sorry, let me rephrase that. I guess it's important, but it's like I can also make it so that like it gets the sample rate from the microphone, right? I'll look into kind of also fixing this up, right? Like because the reason why I say it's not that important, right, is because like this is where like kind of the the main thing happens, right? And like these are just to help kind of set. It's just basically to help set that up, and I think I can kind of cut down on maybe on this one, right? So
No,
that
if you're saying, so I just, sorry, I interrupt again. So it means when you're saying that's not important, so it means the variable can be empty. I mean, like, because I know you using those variables when you call the open function,
Mhm.
open methods. Yeah, you put the sample rate over there and you put the chunk over there. So it means if the parameter is not exist, what happened? Is this your program still okay or not?
let me check actually. I think it won't run because there was
You
unless
need
I
to including the rate equals, right?
yeah unless I specify yeah see unless I specify what
Yeah,
the
you can delete all of the variable as well. Try to delete the rate equals comma.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, see it's missing.
Oh, okay, so it means the argument or the parameters is required. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But the things that you say about is not really important. It means the number itself can be changed to any numbers. Yeah.
Not any number, but like so there's like so there's very specific, not very specific, but like there's very there discrete amount of numbers that is that can be used as a sampling rate. But I don't want to get into that too much, right? Because it doesn't tie to my
Okay. All right.
project.
So just later, just make sure you put like enough information to explain that where's this numbers coming from
Okay.
and why you use that kind of number. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then here is just used to start the stream. Yeah, this is self-explanatory. And then here I created a function called start stream, which basically I create a while loop. I define a while loop. So while the stream is active, it takes the chunks, which is the data that the finite data that it is able to receive from the audio signal inside the buffer, which is the zero array. And what this essentially does is it makes an empty array, right? Because negative of the last negative chunk, which basically means the last number in the array until the last number returns an empty array, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, this is this.
Yeah.
I'm not too confident with this, but like because like I had to refer to another source because I didn't know how to but
Yeah.
yeah. And then I used MP from buffer, which basically uh, it basically takes this, which is stream read, which basically reads the chunks or the frames per buffer from the stream, and then reads it as a buffer, and is put into the value buffer here. And here also I just use the data type float32 just to keep things consistent, because if I change because this matters, because this change, if I change this, it won't run. Yeah, and everything has to be in the same bit for it to
Okay.
keep. And then I use so when I was first looking around, right, I used I was looking at which algorithm to use, or which how I'm gonna be able to process all this audio, right? Because because at this point it's just a bunch of numbers in an array, and I came across the FFT algorithm, or the Fras frontier transformation, which is an algorithm used to process the DFT, which is the discrete
Great.
this DFT, discrete frontier transformation. I'm not gonna get into too much too, because this is like I don't want to be like presenting misinformation, right? But like basically the FFT processes is just similar to DFT, but it just processes the DFT at a much faster rate, which is just to keep things efficient, right? So like, yeah, and luckily NumPy had this function where I could use to take the buffer and then turn it into an FFT and use the FFT algorithm to convert it into something that was readable, because the FFT, what it helps, it makes me return a not a graph, but like it returns, it allows it to convert the NP, the array, into like an XY graph where X is the frequency and Y is the intensity.
Yeah.
And in a guitar, basically there's like, when you pluck a note, right, because it's a standing wave, there is a the thing about the guitar is there's a fundamental frequency, but also while it's vibrating, there's also overtones. And I think there's a second overtone and a third overtone with at the natural harmonics of the guitar. So these like, so like these sounds here, right? It basically is those are overtones, and oh wait, do I have? Hold on. Here's okay. I have an example I can show. Wait. Sorry. Here's a. Oh, yeah. So here's a frequency analysis of an E string, E2 note in the guitar. So you can see here around the 80 hertz. This is the fundamental frequency, and up here, which is this is the first overtone, and this is the second overtone, which is just basically a multiple of 80 hertz. This matters because as the note gets higher, as the pitch of the note gets higher, the overtones become less prominent, and the person starts hearing the fundamental frequency. The fundamental frequencies decibels start getting higher than the overtones. So what basically all this is supposed to mean is that like I had to find out a way to extract that information, right, and apply that logic into into my code. So what I chose to do in the end was to take the highest frequency of each FFT or each buffer, right? Because it started out as a chunk and then placed into a buffer. So each of the highest frequency from the FFT, and then that is basically gonna determine the frequency at which the string is vibrating. So yeah, so I used the colon here, which unfortunately this is also, I don't think is the most elegant way to solve this, because you saw in my in my demo just now that like the values were whole numbers, right? They weren't floats like the actual frequencies, right? Which is something I have to look into myself, because if I don't have this frequency limit due to like my surroundings, yeah, it kind of just messes up my.
Okay, so it will affecting the sound,
Yeah,
the sound.
It just
That's why
affects.
you need to limit that the sound that can be used. Yeah, okay, makes sense.
And then it just prints this this statement here with for my frequency, and then here's the threading process, which basically starts this function here in the background, and it is able to start together with the tuner GUI. And daemon here, it just means that like so when I close the program, it also forces, not force, but like it also makes sure that this process here is also turned off, because it's just like if I don't have this here, and if I close my program, it'll still continue running. Yeah, and it's just there too. Yeah, it's just like kind of like it's just there for the for ease of purpose. And here is the class from my tuner GUI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then yeah, so it's very self-explanatory. There's each button, and there's labels that showcase the frequency here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And
Okay.
these
So
all
the code is accessed, yeah, but it's not working yet.
yeah, it's not working as how I kind of initially planned it out. Yeah.
The trading that you mentioned previously is not working yet, yeah, with this code. I mean, like, because the problem that you mentioned before is because you have like two main loops that running in the same thing, so the same times.
Mm-hmm.
So after you put the trading, it still doesn't work.
Oh no, it works now. It works now. Yeah, it's I was able to run a stream, a Pi audio stream, with a while loop, and also run the tkinter, which is what I wanted to achieve basically. But I'm not able to I'm not able to use any of the data from the Pi audio stream because or right now I'm not sure how I can use any of this data and display.
Okay, so it means to connect the data from the stream to the thinker, the GUI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you tried using the global variables to parsing the data? So it means all the frequency that you get, and then you save it into global variables and after that you can call it from the GUI.
Oh.
Have you got it?
No, I have not tried that. I think no.
Yeah, I think when you create like global variables, so that the value from uh, from the start streaming function can be also parsed into like the other function as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's only the idea. You can try it and then let's see if it works or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really impressed because this is also outside my expertise. Yeah. I mean, like the main idea. I like the genuine idea that you put in your code. I mean, like even though the application of tuners is a lot, yeah, but I think by exploring by yourself and then implementing everything that you learn by yourself into the code, that's really impressed me a lot.
Right.
Okay, if you can create like some UI, I think this kind of project can also be used for copyright things. Yeah, I think that will be this quite standard, good standard for the code. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Um. I unrelated to the actual demo, but like, did you receive my email? I'm just making sure.
Yes, I received your email.
Okay.
I think so. Wait, I just checked. Oh my. uh, yep,
Okay.
I received it on 11 at night,
Okay.
2023,
Yep.
10 January. That's safe. I think the one that late is only uh, 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 Pam, Ariel, and Christopher. That's the only them that late submission. Okay, I think that's all, yeah.
Yep.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for being ready, and then thank you so much for good job for your good effort and the result of the code. Yeah, I really appreciate, and I think that's all my feedback also. So please try to address that. Yeah, you can try to implement the global variable to test if the GUI is working with your streaming audio. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. If not, I think that's all. Thank you so much. You can leave this room, and I will move to the next presenter. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, after that is Ardell. So we okay, Divan is here because we already skip Divan. Maybe Divan will goes after Christopher ya. So I will go to Ardelia first. Hi Ardelia.
Hi, sir.
How are
Good
you?
morning, sir. I'm good, thank you. I'll be share screen.
Yes, yes. So you already know the rule anyway, right? You already watch your friend.
Yes, yes.
I think
So
be quiet so you can just start your presentation.
yes, sir. So before I start, I'm gonna explain what am I making for my final project. So basically, I have created a recreation of Uno game. It's called Uno-tastic, and it is using an external library, the Kinter. I use the Kinter specifically because I have used this before, and I've created some projects with it. So I'm familiar with it. Basically, it's a game, a multiplayer mode game. So it is only can be played in one device. So let me just run the program. So this is the GUI that runs the first window that will be shown. So it says, welcome to Unotastic. And the user will be asked how many numbers of players that are played. Based on my logic, it is logical to have 2 to 4 players because it is like a one device game. Because if it's more than 4, it's going to be taking too much time, and I think it's not suitable for that. So let me so for example, I'm going to take 3 here as an example.
Okay.
So after that, the user is redirected to enter player name screen. So basically, the list box here take how many numbers of players selected, and it will create based on that number. And let me just I haven't created a validation, so if the user doesn't enter name, the information board will be blank. The name will be
Okay.
blank. So
All right.
that is one of the. I think I ran out of time to create that.
Or maybe you can add in your code the default value for the name. So it means for example, this is like using the text area, right? In the text area, you can add the default value, and default value you can say like player 1, player 2, player 3. So it means as default, when they not entering the name is already there, not blank.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you can continue. Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay, sir. So I'm just gonna write my friend's name, so it will be shown there. So when I enter, now it will show in the information board here. So this says that Rafael, now it's your turn. If it's the player's turn, it will show now it's your turn. And other than if else, the other players will be shown how many cards is in their hand. And here is the cards left draw pile. So like other card game, Uno has drawing draw pile to draw if the card is not playable. So in Uno, sir, can I ask you a question? Are you familiar with Uno?
Yes, a little bit.
So basically, how the card played is if the card is playable, if they have the same number with different color, or the different color with same number, or the user can play wild card here. So and specifically, I have created that 5 cards is visible so that the user can have to scroll the right arrow. So basically, the right arrow is to scroll the page number here. So for example, since the beginning of the game, 7 cards are distributed to each player. The only cards visible here is 5, but when they scroll here, the total number is 7, and the player will know how many cards. One of the problems that I encounter is I haven't implemented how many cards is in the player's hand, so the player doesn't know how many cards is in his or her hand. They only know how many cards is in their opponent's hand, but in the player's hand themselves, they don't know how many cards, so they have to scroll the page here.
Okay.
So
why, sorry, I interrupted here. So basically the rule, they will have like the same number, right?
yes, in the beginning of the game.
In the beginning
Yes,
of the
sir.
game. And then
Yes.
so the 7 is the default one after from the rule, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it means why you decided to only showing the 5 instead of 7 correctly?
Because I think
Is that part of the game mechanic?
yeah, I think it's gonna add the mechanics of the arrows as well, so it will look, and it's like, if I think this is like for me, it looks like it looks like artistically pleasing to have
Mhm.
the arrows, and
Okay.
I think if it's too long, it's gonna look quiet, taking
Okay.
the space of the
That's
screen.
all right.
So so let's just play. So if I play this 0, basically, if this is a one game device, so I think it's best to have a transition page to let know the next player that it is their turn, and to also tell the previous player that, oh, it's not their turn anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and this is the game discard pile. So every time the players play, it will refresh automatically with the cards that they have. And the wildcard here, uh, let's say I'm going to use wildcard here. So basically, a wildcard is the player can choose which color that they want the wildcard to be. And now it's Monique's turn. So let's say Monique has a lot of red in her hand. So she wants to choose red. Now it's Chris' turn. And Chris knows which color of wildcard that Monique's choose.
Yep.
So that, yeah, he can only play red. If he tries to play with other, it won't budge because the image itself acts like a button, and I have default in the init class that I'll be explaining later.
Yep.
And for the draw card here is to add another card in their hand. Basically, one card shuffled draw pile will add to their hand. I think this is the one of the B features. And let's say I have, for example, this is red, so I'll wait for the, okay. So for the skip card here, basically to skip the next player's turn. So now it's Monique's turn. If Monique play skip, now it's draw file because Chris' turn is skip, and Monique skip the Chris' turn.
Okay, don't worry.
Sorry, sir, I'm kind of nervous. So,
Okay, don't worry.
and for the +2 here, this acts like a +4 as well. So when Monique's now using +2, if you notice here, Chris' card is 8, and now it's Monique's turn. So what +2 does is to automatically add to
more card
Chris.
from the pile, yeah. Okay.
Yes, and Chris' turn is skipped. So if you notice, if Rafael starts his, and now Chris' card is 10.
Yep.
So that's the main feature of the game, and how it ended. Basically, if there is 0 cards in their hand, the winner declaration page will show. I'm showing you from my report. So it will show like a simple win. So it will take the player's name, which have 0 cards in their hand, and it says Chris win, for example.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I'll be explaining how the image can be played, or the buttons can be played here.
Okay. Yes.
So basically, I've created a class function, init function, to store the color of the card. Here I have explained with some of the comments here, and the card number to store the card and place on their functionality and numbers. For example, since Uno has 0 to 9, and after that they have here 10, I have set it into skip, 11 reverse, 12 +2, 13 wildcard, and 14 is +4 wildcard. The image, I have stored the image as specific name file here, because for example, I've stored 0 since I have created a string card number here. For example, 0, right? 0 red, 0 0 is red, and there's a space, so based on color, and then PNG 0. Since there's only 4 colors, I created 0 as red, 1 as yellow, 2 as green, 3 as blue, and 4 as wildcard. And 14.4 is +4 wildcard. And from that image itself, I have created a button so that if you notice, there is a cursor with the heart shape here. Only just hovers over the card, but when it's not in the area of the card, it will just be a normal mouse button. And because I have put the comment here, self-use card, basically self-use card here is to see if the card is playable here, if the card has the same number or the same color, or it is wildcard, then then it will run the play card function that I have defined just below here.
That's nice.
Yes, thank you, sir. So basically, it will confirm if that card is playable. If it's regular number, it's in the else here. If not, it will just, for example, skip. It will skip the next player. If it's reverse, it will reverse the direction of the game. So basically, the direction start from 0. So it will reverse the direction of the game, and so on. It's here, and I think that's how the card is playable. That's the code for it. And the deck here is to create the how many decks in card. I have created an init function as well, and I have put some comments to it. So you
a lot of comments, yeah.
I know it's to access, but I think it's okay because it's kind of like hard to understand the how it goes. So basically in the class deck as well, I have also create a function that the def arrange here is to basically automatically add the draw tool or the +4 is very useful for that. And except I have created a new function here, or I have implemented a new function. If, for example, if there is 4 players, the scenario is 4 players are playing, and the draw pile, it can be possible that the draw card is empty or it runs out before the player ends. It will automatically refresh the draw using the discard pile. How this works is that it will take the cards from the discard pile, except for the top of the discard pile, and it will return the cards to the draw pile. So the rest of the discard pile will go to the draw pile. And the def add function here, or the function add from deck, this is particularly used for the discard pile, so that when the user is playing, the discard pile will automatically refresh itself. And this is the function with the buttons, such as the end button, and then the arrow, the left and arrow button. I'm using the global function here because no variable is stored outside the function. And right arrow, and this is the red click, yellow, green, blue click. Is this specifically used for the wildcard to choose the wildcard color? This is the setup. So the main game function is already in order. I put a setup. For example, this is for the choices of the player. This function is for the confirmation, or after selecting amount of players, it will take how many players are playing, and it will convert from string to integer. So it will create a list box based on how many players are playing, and the user can enter the name, and it will start the rest of the function, such as 7 cards to create the 7 cards in game, create the discard pile from the beginning, and I use if break. Why do I use this? Because if the number is not from 0 to 9, sorry, this is the wrong comment. So from 0 to 9, it will go to the wildcard, because the functionality from the regular numbers is different from the special cards that I've mentioned before. It will stop there. And the draw card is to draw the card. Basically, this is the draw card button. This is the play card, how the loop of the game goes. And show next is the transition page that will show the next player that their next turn. And the end clear here is to clear the end player turn. So basically it clears the board and it will automatically refresh the board for the next player here, using the if else with the information port just above the information above the play board. And this is the win. And this is the refresh discard, basically to update the discard. If it's the wild card, it will refresh the discard based on the wild card. The information show this wild card is based on the selected color from the color list, red, yellow, green, and blue. And this is how I set up the mainframes. I didn't use Glass for this because yeah, I have like okay, let me just continue this. Just create, and then this is the labels and the buttons, as well as the variables and objects that I have used in the previous functions that I've mentioned.
That's all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, interesting. Yeah. I like it. I just wondering because I'm not really clear when or where you put because the pile, I mean the card in the pile is actually need to be randomized, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where you put it in your code.
Here, sir.
Okay, so basically after random the card, so it will be split into a variable or not?
Sorry, sir, I can hear you.
So the random card that already being shuffled, it will be stored into a variable or not?
Yes, in the self cards.
Okay, so it means okay, that's it. Okay, so it means actually based on your code, there's possibilities to save the game, yeah. So for example, because you say that this game is actually can be play one device game, and then
yes,
can be changing the players from 2 to 4. So it means there's possibilities that the game is not finished, and there will be possibilities that continue the next day. But the device can be played with another group, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if I see that you save all the information based, I mean like the players and then the condition of the card and then the random files, so it means actually you can store that information into like external file, for example, and then load the information again to back into the game.
Yes.
Do you think it is possible?
It is possible, sir, to do that.
Okay, so do you think you can improve your games for that?
Yes.
But I think that will be very good features, yeah. And
okay,
also every step that, I mean, like if you can record or make a log file for every step, like for example, player 1 put the discard, player 2 discard, that also will be good. You don't have to show it in your game, but if you have like a log for that, it means it will be easier to create the save file or to store the file and then play it again later, and then yeah. So I think if you can add that kind of functionalities, I think your game also can be applied for the hockey as well. Yeah, I mean like I think you only need to fix a little bit of the GUI, yeah, like the number of color. Maybe you can, instead of saying the red, blue, red, green, yellow, why not just put the color into the button and make it visible or something like that. Yeah, all good. I think you almost implement everything that you learned from the class. You have a programming experience before entering?
I do, sir, but I was
That's answer.
Learning Java.
Yeah, basically the logic, because I see the logic from how you write the code. I think it seems you already have the experience before. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all of my feedback. I think you already
Yes, sir.
done a very good job.
Thank
So
you,
you don't
sir.
have to nervous anymore.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Ardelia. And I
Thank you,
think
sir.
that's all from me. You can leave the room, and I
All
can
right,
move
sir.
to the other presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Next one is Christopher Tandi. Okay. After Chris, we will back again to Divan, Ariel, and Pam. Yeah. Hi, Chris. Can you hear me? You need to unmute
Hello,
yourself.
sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So how's your dentist appointment?
Yesterday I did a checkup. I had a special case, like on my right jaw, like
Hmm?
two teeth that are intersecting, and it doesn't allow each other to grow. So
Okay.
I'm doing my
So,
surgery later in the evening.
so the
Yeah,
schedule is not blocking your
yeah, it's not
it's not
interrupting. Hope.
disturb
Yeah.
your appointment, right?
Sorry, I had to. Yeah, because of the pandemic, the dentist itself has to reschedule. Like you have to
Okay.
rearrange.
All right. Because there's no complaint from you again, so that's why I think it's okay to put you now.
Okay.
All right. So I think you can start your presentation now. Yeah.
Uh, Fortunately, I haven't like have a complete game, but I have a working demo.
That's fine.
That's
That's okay. That's okay.
yeah. So basically, my game is a platformer. Like I said, in my when I was supposed to state my idea, this is my inspiration. Super Mario from the Game Boy and Bounce Tales from Nokia, because the main player, the main character in the game that I'm doing is a red ball. I chose these two to be my inspiration. It's because I feel everybody else is doing something more modern. I guess that's the right word. And everybody else is doing games that are, how do you call it, like a bit more on the modern side. So I like to go back to my roots, which are the classic console games and handphone games that we used to play as children when we're bored. Okay, moving forward to the demo. Okay. Can you still see my screen, sir?
Yes, there's a demo
Hello.
written middle.
Okay, wait. I need to. All right. So this is the demo for my game.
Okay.
Yeah. This is just a very small demo, but it's working. The mechanics work fine.
I only can see your code. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold up, sir.
I can hear some sound.
Let me open it first.
You can try to share your screen with the desktop option.
Here. Can you should be able to see it now.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. This is the demo that I have. I know it's a small demo because I have a lot to do, like the menus and all that. But in terms of mechanics, movement, and the map, all I have to do is actually make it an infinite map and create a few other levels, and of course the main menu. Yeah, this is basically what I have for now. I know it's unfortunately it's nothing much, but it's because I'm really having a hard time to make this as original as possible, sir.
Okay.
I'm being ambitious at the same time. There are like a lot of aspects in which I haven't fully mastered in Pygame, which I
Okay.
feel is kind of the issue here. All right.
Okay.
Okay, off to my code.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the codes that I have. uh, so let's start from the images that I use. So these are the sprites that I use. This is the red ball that you see in the screen just now, and all the other sprites. I think I'm not gonna really look into that. It's basic. Okay, this is the scroll variable that I have. I actually incorporated a parallax scrolling. So as you see in the demo, when you jump, the dark blue rect is actually the sea. I tried to create like this layer with the back. The setting has a like layers to it. So basically, we have the map and the like a sort of a view behind it, which is like the sea.
Mhm.
And this is the map that I have. I find it quite complex to. There are actually other ways to do this map. I chose this particular way where you just put everything in the Pygram in Pygame. It's because other than this, we have to like import a txt file, which I find really complex. So I decided to just make the map manually by hand. So everything is coded like manually. Moving on to the player collision with tiles. So this is my collision test function where it allows where it's basically where all the coding regarding the player collision and the tiles happen. So let's begin with collision types. Collision types, there are four: left, right, top, and bottom. This is because there are four sides to the block. So therefore, it's necessary to have four. As you can see here in for tile in collision list, if movement zero here means inside the brackets means the movement along the x-axis, so left and right. So if the movement is uh, less than zero, the value of the movement is less than zero, it moves towards the right, and if it's more than zero, it moves towards the left. Moving on, this is the rect y. Oh yeah, before everything, I need to explain what rect is. Rect is basically a container for a rectangle. It acts as a container to store and manipulate rectangles in Pygame. Okay, then I'm going to continue. If movement one here in for tile and collision list, if movement one, one basically means the movement along the y-axis, so the vertical movement lah. And yeah, it returns the rect and the collision types. Okay, moving on. This is the player vertical movement, the y movement and the x movement basically. Airtime is the time obviously when you jump you also have to land, so it's necessary to have the airtime. Okay, sorry sir, I have a few notifications popping up. I have to. All right. Okay, moving on to the player rect. This is the player collision mask. Based on this, we can see that a pygame.rect 50/50 players right get width and get height of the player. So it's like it covers the entire player, acting as a collision mask. And then I have a parallax feature, which is basically a layer, like I said previously, that allows the two different like layers to be in the game, like the sea and the map itself and the blocks itself. All right, this is my main game loop where we have all the important codes. Display fill, as we know, basically encompasses fills the entire screen with a particular color. I think this is sky blue. Or this is the wrong. So the parallax scrolling here is the wrong annotation. Sorry. Moving on. Scrolls is basically the layer or the parallax scrolling. As you can see here, since the screen is 300 pixels wide, half of that is 150. This feature, this function here allows us to focus on the player. Yeah, and then why the number here is not 150 exactly? It's because of the width of the ball itself is 20 pixels. So we have to take in consideration of that. And since this is the width, therefore this is the height. As I explained before, 0 is the x-axis and 1 is in the y-axis. Okay, moving on. The scrolls are converted into integer. Initially, it was a string because obviously the values are numbers, and yeah, right. For the map, this is basically the blocks that I have: the dirt block and the grass block. So, oh yeah, I forgot to explain about the map. 0 in the map here. 0 is null. Basically, it's nothing, empty. 1 is the dirt block, and 2 here is a grass block. So, like I said again, this map is done by hand, and the functions for the map are here. Display blit. As we know, blit is to basically like transfers the like a screen to another screen, and x multiplied by tile size minus scroll, which is the layer, the parallax scrolling, and then the y multiplied by the tile size minus the scroll in the y-axis, layered the parallax scrolling. And then I guess this basically represents the blocks in the map that I have. Moving on to the player movement. There's the player movement. If movement is right, and therefore the player movement on the x-axis will be equal to 2, and left minus 2. And then this is an interesting like thing here. It's something that I find quite weird. Basically, when you change the value here for the y momentum, it has a lot of effect on the bounce, the ability for the ball to bounce. When you change this, for example, to a higher number, it's like the ball gets heavier. So it's like let me show you. Basically, when you change this was initially 0.17, right? And when we use this value, wasn't okay. When we use the 1.7 value, when you use the 1.7 value, this is basically the strength of the jump. So when we change the value here, when we change that value to, for example, 0.3, let me stop the share first. When you change that value to 0.3, it's like the jump strength just decreases. So yeah, it's an interesting feature that I added to there. Oh yeah, before I move on, I had the inspiration like for the codes is from a YouTube channel that I acknowledged in my report. He's called, I think, he's basically like a programming tutorial channel where I got the inspiration to do these codes. But nonetheless, everything here is unique to me. Moving on, this is the vertical momentum where with regards to the collision. So basically, if a ball collides with a block after falling, the ball vertical momentum will be 0 and the air time is 0. Else, it's equal to 1. So basically, this allows the block, basically when you fall down, to like, it doesn't bounce. Instead, it just lands. Okay. I explained parallax previously. This is the event loop for like the basics, the quit, or you can quit the game, the key down. Oh yeah, when you press Z in the game, it like fades out the voice, like it mutes the sound effects, the music. And when you press X, the music replays again. These are like the movements: movement right, movement left, and yeah, this is the airtime. Again, when these values are changed, it has an effect. It has a huge effect on the jump, which is one of the more important factors in this game. like the jump in the movement. And key up basically means when you release the key, the right movement it stops moving to the right and it stops moving to the left. Yeah, and finally display using screen blit as I explained before, and timer tick is the frames per second, so 60 frames per second. This game runs in 60 frames per second. Yeah, I guess that's it for my codes.
All right. So thank you for your presentation. I think now it's time for feedback first. Yeah. In term of like functionality of the characters and how you create the visualization, I think it's already okay. Based on your code, I think because you are planning to create like not only one level, right?
Yes.
Not one stage. So and then when I see you have like manual things to generate each level, like for example for the environment itself, I think you need to create a class for that. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
it means instead of only call the function, I think it's also better to implement a class. So next time you only need to what it called to create the value of the stage, and then you can save it into like external file, and then it only load that value into the
Yeah.
object, something like that. So I think that can improve the way you wrote the code. Okay, that's my feedback. Yeah.
Sorry, Sylvia. I tried using entity, but it's very complex. Like I decided to not use that.
Yeah.
Entity is it's really complex because you have to like create like a class.
So
Or
what do you mean by entity, and what the entities mean?
Entity is basically like similar to the concept is similar to how you upload a map using a TXT file. So you have
Oh.
like a file containing all the sprites and containing like a game engine, like your own framework, something like that, and you can incorporate it to your main file.
Yeah. Well, basically, the current code that you have here, I mean, like I'm just talking about how you create the stage, yeah. So it means if you're still doing it manually, you can still save that value, for example, the list, yeah, the list of number 0, 1, 2, yeah, into like a separate file, and then you can just open file when you want to generate each stage, yeah. You call the file, and then you create the class to generate the stage, and then put the value into the object, something like that. So I think that's also maybe based on your explanation about the entity, more or less the logic is almost simpler. Yeah. So it means if you think using the entity or the default functionality from Pygame is difficult, you can still implement that kind of logic with your own standard. Yeah. That's how to improve the code. Okay, and well, of course, yeah. I mean, like the first thing that you need to complete for the next week, next Monday, you need to make sure your application is working. Yeah, according to your plan. Okay, because you are the one that setting the goal. Okay, so I create note in here. You need to make sure that the story of game, what is the story of game or the objective of the game, so it need to be clear first, right? Well, the game mechanic itself need to be identified. What is the user can do? What is the purpose of the game? Something like that. What is in the end? Because if we talk about the game, how decide the winner? How user win the game, for example, like that. So that's the game mechanic important. So it means you need to make sure next Monday you need to complete everything, because I will mark based on everything that you submit on Monday. Okay, and this is also only for you, yeah, or for everyone. So this message is actually for everyone. In the future, in the future you will have like another courses, right? And also you will have like another final project that you will do. Okay, so please, I know, I mean, like everyone struggling with limited of time, yeah, especially if in one semester you have like 3 or 4 final project to do. Okay, but please make sure you manage your time wisely. Okay, I don't want you to find difficulties, I mean, like every almost end of the semester, normally the final project will be submitted in the end of the semester, right? So I don't want you to have problem every semester struggling with the final project. So that's why you need to manage yourself, manage your time, and make sure you deliver the final project on time, something like that. So this is not only for you, yeah. So this is for everyone. This is a reminder because in the future also after you graduate, I mean, like if you have like company and then you have a client, so you need to make sure you deliver the product to your client on time, right? So this is actually a good practice to make sure everything that you do, you need to deliver it with good and then on time, and then so that's why you need to practice from the beginning. Okay, that's my message, not only for you but for everyone. Yeah. And then because in terms of code, I already mentioned some feedback about the using the class. I think because when you creating a game, basically you can split with which one is the main code, which one is the for example section for
the menu,
yeah. So
and the other
yeah, you can split or you can group that the code into like a separate file, so to make it easy for you, or for example when later you're working with the team, because normally when you're creating a game you're not creating by yourself, right? So it means it is better to practice how to split the code and then assign it to specific group. For example, like this is for movement of the object, this is for generating the objects, for example, like that. Because if you put it into one file like this, later when your games have like more, for example, more stage, more difficult, more complex, yeah. So it will hard for you or your team to fix it if there's a problem happen, something like that. Yeah. So I think that's also good practice. And then also you can see if you break that into like a small piece of code, you can see which one is actually your code is repeatable. So you can reduce that repeatable code. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think that's all my feedback. Well, I think in terms of understanding about the logic, and then in terms of the minimum requirement for final project, I think you are the I mean almost of you already fulfill that requirement, so I'm happy about it. But for the sake of the score of final project, there's like some improvement of course need to be done, and you guys have like 1 week to fix it before I marking the final project, yeah, for the report and the code. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's all. Do you have something else to say before I move to the next presenter?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So good job, yeah, for you and for everyone. Please continue the hard work, and then remember my message. Yeah, I mean, like, please organize your time wisely.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, and good luck for your dentist appointment. Hope everything went well, going well.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Now we back to Divan. Divan is here already.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Divan.
How are you doing today, sir? I'm good.
Quite breathing because I think my air conditioning is too low.
Correct. So I'll just share my screen now.
All right. Yeah, please. Sorry, I skipped you before because I cannot see your name in the waiting room.
Oh, that's all right. I don't mind.
We start earlier.
No problem. So this is my project. I think I could have done better because this was rushed, to be honest, because I did it in the last week.
Yeah.
So this 1 week, yeah. Because I did it by that.
You can already upload it into Windows Maya since week 2. So actually,
yeah,
you can start.
I was really rushed, to be honest. So I'm sorry if it wasn't like really good because I did it in barely a week.
Yeah.
So I created 2 games. It's not two simple games. One is an idle game, which is it's a game that you can choose to run in the background. So you do, while you do some other stuff. I usually love playing these kind of games because I don't have to manually play it. I can just leave it in the background. Like I usually leave it overnight. And I'm sorry, but can you see the game? Or
no, I think you need to share the desktop. Yeah. So I only can
okay,
see
one.
your IDE.
My desktop. Okay. Okay. Can you see it now, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the idle game, it's quite simple. You just click this big red button, and every time you click it, you get 1 money, and then there are some upgrades that you can buy. And like for example, this button, when you press this now, instead of getting 1 money every click, you get 2. And then there is an idler. This is the main how do you say this? The main mechanics of the game is that you buy upgrades that do stuff on their own without you having to overlook how they see. It's not like an RPG game where you have to take control of every action each party member takes. Especially in like turn-based games or in 4X games like Civilization or any JRPGs where you have to manually click every single time because sometimes it can get tedious, especially when you grind for items in RPG games.
Mhm.
So the functions of idle games are you just leave it in the background. You can just do your work or your assignments, which I didn't do, or anything of that sort. And the other one that I did was a sneak game because I thought it was quite simple to do, but found out it was not because I had one big issue, which I'm not going to lie, I had to use the internet for help. The problem was, I think I didn't. You have to use a list apparently to make the snake, or else you're just going to have one big rectangle just moving like this, sideways like this, instead of moving one by one.
Mhm.
And that I'm not going to lie, I did ask for some help from the internet because I wasn't smart enough to figure this out on my own. And here is the main function of the game. I did try instead of having all both games and the main menu inside of one huge Python file. I did do it here, which is my test folder. But every time I did this, there was a PyCache, which I wasn't sure what it was, and I have no experience of programming before joining Venus, so which I thought was an error. So I just deleted it and just put everything into one huge file. And now I'll start to explain a bit of the code of the game. So for the snake game, uh, this is this first function here is what creates the snake, and we use a list which is inside of the game, and this list is updated every tick. And the way it works is that uh, you have, for example, if I open Paint, 1 minute, if we have 250 and 360,
Mhm.
and then when it moves, it will add a new one. So at the start. So wait, I'm sorry. Uh, we will append a new value. So instead of having 250, 360, we have 260, 360, and this gets deleted. Now the way we do this is in this. The whole game basically runs on this couple lines. That's it. The way the snake moves is just on this couple lines. We use the logic that we use here, and we delete the first part of the list because that's the position of the snake. So unless there is unless the player has eaten another the snack, then the list can accommodate up to two different lists of two lists instead of a list. So two different positions. These positions are used inside of the snake to create the rectangle, and that's how the snake moves. And this is the command for moving the snake. It's some simple commands. If you press the left key, it moves by a certain pixel, and if you use the right key, it moves a certain pixel to the right, up a few pixel up, and that's it. And this part is where we check if the user has when controlling the snake has eaten a fruit. But the only problem with this is that the user has to be pixel perfect, or else it won't be counted. I can show the game right now. So if I was to start the game and I play the snake, unless I'm pixel perfect, I cannot eat the fruit. And I don't know why. I tried a few different things, but I keep getting errors. I tried adding +10 because that's the size of the snake, the size of the snake and the fruit, but it doesn't seem to work. So I might have to fix that. And that's about it for the snake game. And the idle game is not super complicated. The idle game is just basically just clicking buttons, and doing that is easy. And I think I should have definitely made a function or a class to make the buttons, which I did not do. I did try doing, but there were some errors, and it was either that or I do hard coding like this for it to work. So I chose for it to work instead of using functions or classes. And this is the logic behind it. And this is the how would I say this? This is in Pygames. There are events, and Pygames can keep track of every event. But also, Pygames can allow you to queue up an event every every millisecond, because the time is apparently in milliseconds, and you can add one. So this queuing of an event is used to make it so that it updates every 1 second instead of the rapid amount of times it updates in the while loop. Because if I do that, then I would have to figure out how many times it updates per second, and I wouldn't be able to just simply use like 1 or 10 or 50 as written here. I would have to think of some math problems, which is going to be really hard. But I think that's about it for my games.
All right. Okay, so are you happy with your works?
No, not really, because I think it's far too simple.
So I mean, well, basically you already know. Thank you. First, I would like to say thank you for your harness. Yeah. Well, you said you are like when you start late, and then you also get some information from the internet. Okay, I appreciate about your honesty. However, that's please don't continue with that. Okay, in the future, don't do that at all. And then if you use that as an excuse for you, and for example you meet me again in the other course, I won't accept that kind of excuse. Yeah.
It's understandable. I know.
Yeah. So please, I don't mind. Like I said before, related with the code. If you're using other people's code, of course, you need to acknowledge them in your code. Yeah. So it means you need to fix or improve your code because you said you are implementing someone else's code from the internet. So please also put or acknowledge them in your code. And then
I will do that in my report.
Yeah. Well, you need to do it also in your code, because it will be uploaded
Okay.
up, right? So other people will
Yeah.
read it. And then I think if you see again the minimum requirement for the final exam, final project, you also need to give like some comments into your code. So that why it is required to do that. Basically, first, I would like you to, even though you are using like other people program, it will make you understand about how it works. The second one, in the future, if you're using a good comments in your code, it will help you to easier for you to fix if something happen or some problem happen in your application. Okay, so it means that good practice to always have the comments or docstring, yeah, in your function. Okay, so it means for your update, I think that's my feedback for your update. I mean, for next Monday, I hope you can add that kind of information in your coding as well.
No problem.
Yeah.
I will do that. Yeah.
And then, well, you already know, I mean, like some of your coding is like repeatable, and you mentioned also about creating the class. Yeah, I think that's also important, yeah, in this next week, yeah. You still have like 1 week to improve your code. So please doing it. And then I think to make your score better, you can also implement like other functionality, like for example, I don't know, save function, for example. Why? I mean, like in the term of the game, basically your game is not really
saved. It's
yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to score only from the game, and from the code itself. You haven't implement everything that you learn from the class as well, yeah. So that's why I mean, like maybe you can add like another functionalities, for example, like a save button. It means you can save the last position of the snake, for example, and then last position of the object or the food, yeah. And then after that, people can just replay again when open the file, for example. I don't know, or maybe you can create like a high score, yeah, the score, and then you can create like a leaderboard that can be saved every time you open the application, for example. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so it's you can show me you can working with the files, yeah. And maybe you can also add like statistic with the result of the games, for example. I don't know, yeah. So please, in this 1 week, try to improve or add some functionality that genuine from you, that can be increase your score, yeah. Okay, so that's actually my feedback. So don't worry, I mean, like for the level of understanding about the code and the logic, I think you're already okay, yeah. The problem is you're not using your time wisely. Yeah. So it means well, I don't mind. I mean, like this is your still for your first semester, so I forgive you for this mistake. But for the future, for the other courses, for the other final project things, so please don't start your final project in the end of the semester, or very close to the deadline, because the result won't be good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's all my feedback. Yeah. Hopefully, in 1 week time, you can improve everything that you already create in here. Well, I still saying this is already good job. Yeah. Thank you so much for your effort. But I'm sure with your knowledge, with your ability, you can still improve your code and your report. Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I just didn't have enough time, I think.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, like I believe you can do it, but I mean, if you say that you don't have much time, so
that was a mistake on my
not
part.
not really good excuse, yeah, because
I know
you never have like enough time for it if you don't want to.
Yeah, because as soon as the holiday started, I went on to vacation mode, and I was too lazy to do any work. Even up till today, I'm still on vacation mode.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry. I mean, like that's already passed, right? I mean, like we cannot change anything that already passed. But in the future, please use your time wisely. and I want to hear you to use, I mean, like this kind of excuse. Okay, so I think for next time, please use your time wisely. So if you plan to have like a holiday, of course everyone can have the holiday, right? So please do it before the holiday. At least start before the holiday, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Divan, I think that's all ya. I'm just waiting for the report and the update for the report and the code next Monday. After that, I will complete all the score and then submit into the operation.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And then thank you so much and good luck for the final exam.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Next is Ariel. Ariel is here already.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ariel.
Wait, let me see if I can get my video to work.
You should. You must.
It
because
says
you will be online on
on
the YouTube channel. So make sure.
Oh, there you go. Okay. It said cannot start video for a sec there.
Why is it so dark in your room? Can you turn on your
okay, yeah.
See, you are
better?
look handsome with light, right?
Oh, by the way, I apologize if you can hear some construction in the background because something's going on.
I can hear your voice clearly, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Wait, let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yep, I can see your IDE with code.
Okay, so for this project, to be honest, I started kind of late because of the holidays and stuff. So I made a simplistic game that's based off asteroids with, the player movement and the asteroids. But I'll just show you.
Okay.
So let me run this. So this is my game right now. The player can move in 360. Asteroids spawn randomly outside the screen. And when you break an asteroid, when you break a big asteroid, it'll split. Oh, I did. Sorry about that. When you break an asteroid, it'll split into 2 smaller sized asteroids. And your score gets tracked. You have 3 lives. If you get hit by the asteroid, you lose 1 life. That's about as simple as it gets. So yeah. Oh, I got hit. And if you die, you can just press enter and the game restarts. That's basically how the game works. I drew all the sprites myself, so sorry they look kind of bad. Yeah. That's basically how the program works. If I press escape, it quits out.
All right. Okay. Well, you can start to explain the code if you want.
Oh, okay. So I used Pygame for this, and really this is the player class. It has the sprite, which is here, and it's 16 by 16, and the X and Y's are the width and the height of the screen divided by 2 because I wanted to start at the middle. It also has an angle value, and to rotate it, I use the pygame.transform.rotate and set it to the rotate surface. For this part, the rect function, it basically creates like a rectangle, and I use it for the dot center because I want the location to be like in the middle of the sprite so that when you rotate it, it rotates off the center axis basically. The sign and the cos is for the bullet layer, and the head is to keep track of where the front of the ship is, because when you rotate it, the front of the ship will rotate with it, and you want to shoot the bullet out of the head. So to find it, it's basically the x plus the cost of it times self.width over 2, because that's where the middle of the sprite will be, the width of the sprite divided by 2, and you just add that. And for the y, you minus it, because the y axis is, you know, it increases as it goes lower. So yeah, this is the function to draw the ship. Pretty self-explanatory. And to turn left, I just turn left, turn right. I just add to the angle value by 5 in this case. And to turn right, it's -5. To move forward, I use the x and y, and I add it, or I minus it for the y based on the cost of the angle. So that's so that it always goes in the direction it's facing. Same goes for move backwards, except it's reversed. And you want to update it for every time you call the function. This is where the player input is. You see if it's up, it moves forward, left, right, and space is for shoot. And for the bullets, I used a variable cooldown tracker, because if I don't use some sort of like delay on it, it'll all just come out as fast as the FPS of the game goes, and I don't want it to come out super fast because that'll be too easy. And if you died and you press enter, the game resets, the lives get reset, the score gets reset, and the asteroids get cleared out. Escape is for quit. It's pretty self-explanatory. The wrap is used for wrapping the player. Wait, let me show you. It's used for, say, if you go up, it'll come down again and stuff like that. Yeah. And now we go to the bullet object, or the bullet class. The point is the x and the y, and it always starts at the player head. So if the player, no matter where the player is facing, it'll always come out of the front of the player because it's set to the player.head. And I want to match it also has its own cost and sign values to match it with the players so that it goes in the right direction as well. And for the velocity, it's just multiply this x and y value by 10, and I add it in bullet_move. I add the x and y with the velocity. To draw it, I use just a rectangle, a small rectangle, a 3x3 rectangle from Pygame. Now the asteroid has 3 different sprites because there are 3 different sizes. The sizes are randomized when they spawn. You can see it later on, but there's a higher chance of spawning a small asteroid compared to a big one. It takes the argument size for setting which size it is, and this is just setting the size of the asteroid in the game. Now the spawn, I didn't know how to do this, so I had to look it up. The randomizer, it basically picks between, it creates a tuple of the x and y coordinates, and for the first one, it's whether it is the x value is negative or positive outside of the screen, and for the second one, it's where the y and the y value is positive or negative outside the screen, and so it'll always create it. It'll always return a value that's bigger than the actual screen width or screen height. And to make it move towards the center, I just made it so that if the x is less than 0, the direction is 1, which controls the velocity. For the velocity, it's just the same thing, and you multiply it by another random function so that there's some variety to the movement speed of the asteroids. The redraw game function is called for drawing everything that's in the game. and I have all the text over here, and the collision stuff is over here. It basically checks whether the player's X value is inside the asteroid. This is the collision between the player and the asteroid. It checks whether the X and Y values are inside of the dimensions of the asteroid, I guess. And if they are, you minus lives, and you get rid of the asteroid from the asteroids list. And the same thing goes for the bullets, except this time it's for the bullets instead of the player. And to create new asteroids after they break off, when they collide, so you check if they collide first. If they collide, and if the asteroid size is 3, which is the biggest one, it will basically create these two asteroids, and they will have the same X and Y value as the old and destroyed asteroid, but the size value is the lower one. So from 3 it's 2, from 2 it's 1, and you append them on the asteroids list, and if it's size, it gives you a score. This is the game over stuff, so that it stops running. The main loop here is, let's see. Yeah, this is basically just to stop it from just quitting whenever you run it. And this is the asteroid timer, which basically sets the time for when the asteroid spawns. And I use the get time function. The clock is from here, pygame.time.clock, and I just use that to set whenever the asteroids spawn. And the asteroids spawn, the chance each size spawns, it's set in this list. So one has 3, the size 2 has 2 things, and the size 3 has only 1. So there's a bigger chance for this random to select the 1, and it basically appends it in the asteroid list with the rand here. And this is code. It's not supposed to be here. It's just the running the player.wrap, blah, 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 redraw game window, if lives over 0, game over is true. And yeah, you just pygame.quit under here. This is basically how the entire thing works. I have some new features that I want to implement, but I didn't have the time, so I had to just get it working first.
Okay, so that's all?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so well, I can see you can explain the code quite well. Yeah, even though there's like a lot of doubt when you explain it. All right. So my question is, how many % that you take from online?
From online, I would say the ones that.
Yeah, just let me know. I mean, like, I don't mind to for my student to take.
Let me think it.
Oh, just estimate. How many % do you think you get it from online? I mean, like, you just copy it and then using it and then modify.
30, I think.
30 years. Okay.
Like the ones that I couldn't figure out myself, like how to track the rotation of stuff.
Okay, so why I asked that, because first I noticed that, I mean, like, this kind of games actually there's a lot, example in the online, so it's easy for you to get the source code and modify it. So the first, basically my feedback is similar like previously. When you're using like other people works, please state it and then make sure acknowledge the owner of the code, and then one. Well, it's hard for me when you're saying that you don't have time and then you just following, because if we talk about the game itself, the final product itself, basically, well, the standard game, there's still a lot of improvement can be applied for the games, right?
Yeah.
And then if we see from the code, basically, well, the minimum requirement for the final project is already fulfilled. But I mean, like, well, you can find this type of code easily from the internet. So I just
Right.
want you to like, it's hard for me to give the score if I cannot see. This is only for the final project ya, about maksudnya the final project scoring gitu ya. So that's why I always give a feedback that maybe you can add like more features.
Yeah, I have some in mind, like I need to add a main menu.
That's my point. That's why I give like 1 week time for you guys to update your code, update your report, and then please wait. I mean, like, please clearly state that okay, this is the contribution that I made, for example, in the comment. Or so basically, I don't mind you using like other people code, right?
Yeah.
But this is because I mean, like, there's like a component for final project that I still need to give a score for it. So it's hard for me to give you score if something like this happens. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I hope you understand why I asked about it. Yeah. So that's my feedbacks. And then related with the you don't have the excuse that you say that you don't have enough time. Okay. Like I said previously.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, the past already passed. I mean, like, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I hope in the future, in the next course, even though it's not my course, don't do that anymore, gitu ya. I mean, like,
I understand.
Make sure you will deliver everything on time, because in the future also, when you work, also there's a scenario like this always happen. Yeah. So don't that kind of habits. I hope that won't be a habit. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, for now, that's okay. But for the future, I hope you avoid that kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I think that's all my feedback. Well, in the sake of the code understanding, I think I don't have question about it. But if you have like something that you want to add for like future additional features, for example, you can add into your code, and then your report please explain well. So it will give me apa namanya background to give you a better score. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I think that's all, yeah, because you will have like another class in 10:30, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we have like another one, Pam. So I think thank you so much for Ariel. Well, you are submitting late, yeah, for the link as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's because I actually emailed you a thing before, but I didn't realize you had to subject it properly. I put the wrong subject, right. So I had to resend it.
I'll check that again. I think if you already submit previously.
I think it's at 11:59, sir.
Well, yeah. Well, I received your email is on 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's the second one. That's the one I resent.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll check again. So if because there's like a component for on time submission. So
right.
Yeah, if you miss that, you already miss like 10% of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Ariel.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, please update your report and your code wisely, and then I'll score it after Monday.
Okay, for sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Ariel. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, next is Pam. I think we still have time, yeah. Maybe we'll be a bit late to join the class, but I think that's all right. Okay, without further ado, I think, Pam, you already know the rule. You already watch your friend to YouTube channel anyway, so you can start your presentation. Please turn on your camera.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. I have a problem though. Before we start, the code doesn't work on this laptop, but it does on the laptop that I coded on.
That's not good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it works on other laptops too, but the laptop that I used for that is being borrowed by my mom today, so I cannot. do that if that's fine. But I can just explain the code then.
Yeah, well, basically, I don't mind at all. But the problem is you won't get like a full score for that. That's the only problem.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, because based on the component, you need to show the working application, yeah, right? And then you need to explain it how it works, something like that. So basically, I don't mind at all because in the end, that's your responsibility. Yeah,
that's okay. I can share screen for a while.
Yep, can share your screen.
So this is the code. And is it okay if I look at my
notes? What is your project about first?
Oh, like a music player.
Music player. What? So can you explain a bit more?
Yeah. So basically, you just put in like an audio code, not an audio code, an audio file, and then it will play it. Basically, that's it.
Okay.
So I mean, this is the code. I use Pygame and Takinter for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know these are like I looked it up on how to do this. So I had to import the label button and file dialog. And so file dialog is to provide classes and functions for directory selection windows so that like it will open the directory basically. And yeah, I mean, this is for playing the song, and it will show the it will ask you to select the file, and the directory is C. This one because because I used Windows for this. Usually, I think for Mac it's kind of different. And I use try and accept. The try is like for the normal part of the program. Like if it works normally, then try will work, and then accept or exception is if it doesn't if it's not normal or there's an abnormality for it, then the exception will play basically, and it will error playing track or error playing song, stuff like that. And I guess most of it is kind of self-explanatory. For there's the volume label. Configuration is like in the label. So if the song title will be green, and so you can it will just be green in that one. That's what configuration does. It's to explain the attributes of the text basically. Yeah, like most of it is kind of the same because this is it's pretty much the same. Reduced volume and increased volume are the same, except for one is decrease and one is increase. This round is so it rounds up into just one decimal point instead of like multiple, so it's not as confusing. And if you try to increase volume or decrease volume without a song file, it will print out like this song hasn't been selected yet, basically. And this is pause and resume. And basically it was just, this is from the Takinter extension library. This will make it pause. Like mixer music it's from Takinter, and it will just pause the music basically. this resume is on pause. And yeah, these are just the labels. For the labels, there's the custom music player, that's like the title. And the grid is where I want to put it. And sticky is where it is north, so it's like on top instead of just being on the side. And there's padding, or basically the what you call it, like the space in between each side is like 150 pixels, I think that's what it stands for. And yeah, the rest is the same thing. And oh yeah, row is like where it's put. So this is row 0, 1, 2, 3, and stuff like that. I think for this, row 2 is like for just, yeah, the title, and that's it. And then there's buttons. There will be the select song, pause, resume, reduce and increase volume. And this is the command. The command is like from here, basically. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay. All right. So because you cannot show me the application work, so well, there's no much feedback that I can give to you. My question is, how long you done this code? For how long you doing it?
I don't know, like a couple days.
Couple days. So it means, I mean, like it's quite easy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, well, in the term of final project, I think for the minimum requirement, I haven't seen you implementing like a class. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's no class.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's also like from the function itself, like for example, the pause and resume. So basically, that can be put into like one single function with if, with condition in the function, right? So basically you can reduce a lot of things in here. Yeah. So I mean, in the term of the code, there's like a lot of improvement that you can do, like simplify the code, and then uh, add like a comments or doc string for each function, or and then you can also add like creating, I don't know, create like an object or class object, yeah, to make it like to show that you're implementing knowledge that you learn from the class, gitu ya. So yeah, so it means I afraid, I mean, like with this stage, maybe you don't have like what I how to say it, yeah. I mean, like the maximum score. Okay, so it's like quite far from the maximum score. That's like, so it means there's like a lot of things that you need to improve from this final project. Yeah. Okay. So I think I give you another chance to prove that the application is working by creating like a short video. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just use your laptop that working with this code, and then create like a short video, and then try to do this kind of things again, like you explain how it works, and then record it, and then please submit it also through the, if you can upload it to GitHub, that will be put it together with other files. But not, if not, you can just send me the file separately to my email. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's the things that I can do for you to help to improve your score.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So please, I mean, like next time, if you have like another final project in other course, please plan it well. Yeah. And then make sure that everything is working when you do the demos. Yeah. And then try to put everything. I'm sure actually you can do better than this one, because based based on, I mean, like so far I see all the progress, individual progress. I think from the knowledge that you have, I think you can do much better than this kind of application. Yeah, but for this term, for the final project, I think it's already okay, good enough. I just need to make sure that you done some improvement to increase the score for your final project. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your work. Yeah. The idea, you just need to make sure both the code and then the project, the documentation are also good, because that will cost you like 70 or 60%. Yeah, because you are late, so you miss the online the on time submission. So this will be like 60% points from the code and the report. So please make sure that you're doing well on that point as well. So to make sure your final project score is good. Yeah. Okay, Pam. Thank you so much for your time. And please also prepare yourself for final exam as well on the 21st. And good luck. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And you can leave the room. Bye. Okay, guys, I think that's all. Yeah, that's all the presentation from our class, program design methods. Pam is the final presenter. So I think from this one, I just close our course, program design methods, intro to programming. So I hope you enjoy my class, and then I apologize if I have something that how to say it. Yeah, if I have done something not good during my class. So hopefully you can gain some knowledge from our session. So hope to see you again in another course, and good luck for your final exam. And if you still have anything to discuss, yeah, feel free to contact me. You can send me text privately, or you can just drop email, or you can also using the WhatsApp group that we have already. So okay, I think that's it. And thank you for your time and effort. Good job, everyone. I really enjoyed all the presentation. I hope you can do much better and better again in the future. And thank you so much. Bye.